When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
Like, I can't really make an impact with athletes. So I switched to entrepreneurs. What the fuck do I know about entrepreneurship? Let's be honest, guys. I'm a coach. I'm a baseball coach. I'm a sales professional. I'm a father. I'm a husband. My expertise is in athlete development. What am I most qualified to help people? I'm most qualified to help the person I once was, a Division I athlete or an athlete in general. I can relate to the pressures that these athletes and high performers are feeling, whether they're in middle school, high school, Division I, or professional. Shoot, baseball players sometimes have a fear of God struck into them every single day, and they're looking over their shoulder because they know if they don't perform, they're going to be sitting the bench. They know that every single movement they make is being judged. So what we need to do, or what I need to do, is start teaching them that the real goal, the real reward is in the actual process, the standard of work. Southwest Florida is one of the most beautiful places on the planet to live. For those of you that are thinking of moving from other states to come to Florida, or even just moving to a different part of the state, I want you to think of a big, beautiful luxury home. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. They are a family-owned and operated luxury residential construction company. As a family-owned business, they believe in the power of building not just homes, but legacies. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. Unlock your true potential on the field and court with our Peak Mental Performance Program for athletes. Train your mind to conquer challenges, stay focused under pressure, and achieve unparalleled success. Our expert coaches will guide you through personalized techniques, enhancing concentration, resilience, and confidence. Picture yourself outperforming your rivals, making split-second decisions with clarity, and achieving victory like never before. Join us today and elevate your game to new heights. Peak Mental Performance Program, where champions are forged in the mind. Email me today, Shawn.French@thedeterminedsociety.com for more information. See you
What's
inside.
up, everybody? Welcome back to another show of the Determined Society. I am your host, Shawn French, and I am a mental performance coach for athletes and other high performers. But before we get into today's show, I just want to give you guys a big thank you. I'm getting a lot of great feedback on the guest and the new content we have coming out. So stay tuned, because as you can see, there's been a huge shift in my show, and I want to make it abundantly clear what I'm here today for. Today, you're going to get the real and the raw. I want to talk to you about my journey in podcasting and on this platform, and how it has accelerated, and almost at sometimes it feels like it's absolutely stopped. Because the real thing that I want all of my listeners to know and my audience to really truly believe in is the fact that, hey, shit happens and shit doesn't always feel like it looks. Sometimes this journey feels lonely as fuck, and I need you guys to understand that. So if you're looking to start a brand, a podcast, or whatever the case may be, just know that a lot of times you're going to be sitting there and you're going to be your only fan, the only person cheering for you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about where I started. I remember back in the day, I was going through a really bad relationship, my first marriage, and one of my clients, Chantel, said to me while we were having coffee one day, she goes, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm great." And she goes, "Well, how are you really? It feels like you're masking something." And she introduced me to Andy Frisella's MFCEO project. And from that moment on, I was hooked. I just loved his entrepreneurial advice. I loved his no bullshit mentality, no excuses, just kind of submit to the things that you know you need to do on a day-to-day basis and just go get them done, right? No sense in complaining about it or finding excuses. You just go and you move, right? Move through things. And slowly after that, I started to really realize, like, man, I really want to do this myself. I'd love to have a podcast. I'd love to be a thought leader and have my words heard by others and possibly impact somebody's life. Because to me, it's all about impact, right? You know, impact over income, always, 100% of the time. And so I dug into it a little bit, and then all of a sudden my limiting beliefs started to really kick in, and I thought, hey, I don't have a studio. I can't do this. I don't have all the fancy stuff. What the hell am I even going to talk about? And over the years, I sat on that while everybody else was making podcasts, right? And I was just sitting there on the sideline, just being a fucking spectator in my own life. And I wasn't doing anything to move that dream forward until I started doing the self-improvement, the professional development, and the mindset exercises for my own life. So I knew that there was a point where I had to get better. I was extremely out of shape and I was anxious. I was depressed. And I knew a lot of personal development had to happen. So I made the choice, right? So I started working on my body. And as I did that, I got in better shape. My mind started opening up a little bit and said, you know what? I'm going to make a podcast. I'm just going to do it. And then I got on the internet and I called an old friend and asked her, hey, what's the best way to make a podcast? And she had mentioned to me, just go on there and, do the app, the Anchor app. So I did that. And I got to tell you, it was cool. I was shooting shows in my car. Like my first podcast studio, guys, was a VW Atlas SUV. So for those of you that are listening right now, telling yourself this story that you can't do something because you don't have the studio, you don't have the equipment. My show started out of a fucking vehicle, guys. And, so right then you got to really understand, what is your price to win? What's your price for success? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? Are you willing to shoot a show, put your Apple phone or your Droid on Do Not Disturb and just shoot it in your vehicle? I think it's a pretty well-known fact by people who listen to me on a weekly basis that I used to shoot my show after a workout. I'd get in the car, have some high vibe energy, and I would just go. And there was really no rhyme or reason to it. I didn't have any guests or anything like that. And as you can tell, the show has evolved quite considerably. But that's not why I'm doing this, guys. I just want to chronicle you on the journey because I think this is going to help somebody, because the last few days I've been feeling really down, right? I've been feeling, a little bit of a depression setting in, or depressed state, anxiety state, all that kind of stuff, right? And what I really boiled it down to is I started losing sight again on what matters most, which is the impact I'm making. I started listening to too many people tell me I should be doing things one way, or I should have this many reviews, or this many followers, or this many, and it just torpedoed me. And while in the past, those types of things kept me down for a lot longer than they kept me down, but I just didn't like the feeling I felt the last couple of days. So my goal here is to get this out so you guys can listen, so you can understand that everybody feels the way you possibly feel right now. So when I started the show, as I mentioned, in my vehicle, and it was just a solo show. It was just me ranting, kind of like I am right now, but there's a method to my madness. And because, like I said, I just want you to know what my journey has been and how it feels, in an effort that it might help you. And then I'm going to give you some strategies on how to move forward in your own journey, right? So you're going to learn something from here. You're going to learn a lot about me, but you're going to learn some tactical ways that you guys can move forward in your own business or your own show. So I remember reaching out to my very first guest I reached out to, a big one, was Larry Hagner of the Dad Edge podcast. And surprisingly, he answered. He didn't follow me at the time. He answered. He was preparing for a bodybuilding show with his son, and he was on the treadmill and doing his cardio, and he sent me a voice memo back, which meant the world to me. And we hopped on a show. I didn't even have a microphone. Didn't have this sign behind me yet. Didn't have this acoustic. I might have had the kids' artwork there. That'll never go away. All right. It'll always be there at some point, some way, shape, or form. And, we did the show and it was great. And I just remember looking at the post-production aspect of it. I'm like, man, I sound terrible. I don't even have a microphone. This guy has a microphone. Automatically comparing and robbing myself of the joy that just happened in interviewing a really big guest. My next guest was DJ from Andy Frisella's Real AF, right? And Andy Frisella's co-host DJ. And that was impactful. It was amazing. DJ, if you're listening, I think we need to do a rerun. I think we need to run it back, homie. So I'm going to be calling you today and we're going to get this shit scheduled. And from that point on, I started getting more guests and more guests. And the one thing that I will say to you is, in the early goings, it was almost like I was being heavily vetted by people's marketing teams, or just even the guests themselves. How many downloads do you have? How popular are you? How many reviews do you have? What's your plan here? How is this going to help, our brand? So early on, you're getting a lot of no's and you're getting a lot of, well, who are you for me to come on your show? And, while I understand that, right? But I look at things a little bit differently. I've always been the type of person that looks at people like they're people, not objects. So, and what I mean by that is when I'm, where I want to be in this industry, as far as, recognized podcaster, major thought leader in this world, I don't know that I could ever treat people like that. I don't know, I get time is valuable and we need to make the most out of our time, but I always think there's a will, there's a way. I have not turned anybody down that has asked me to be on their show, and, to a fault, quite honestly. And there's been some shows that were terrible interviews and they didn't even release the episode because it was just, they just couldn't get the words out and ask the right questions. And that's not my fault, right? I gave them opportunity. I think the one thing that I want everybody to understand is no matter where you're at in your life, in your business, your career, your podcast, your popularity on Instagram, that's another thing. Like these people, just because they're popular on all these social media websites, they think they're fucking celebrities. They're not celebrities, guys. There's normal people. There's normal people that are riding the hog on Instagram. Like, come on. Like real celebrities are like people like Barry Bonds, Jennifer Aniston. Those are celebrities. These people you see on Instagram, they're not celebrities. And I include myself in that. I am just a normal dude, just trying to get good content out there and good things for people to learn from and to give a piece of myself to the community every single day. So anyway, I digress. We're going through a lot of yeses and a lot of mostly no's to get people on the show. And it was painful, guys. Like the growth of the show is painful. And there's a lot of times where you feel like no one's listening to you, but I can guarantee you someone is, and someone is noticing the great work that you do. And eventually things kind of pop off, right? Your show gains a little more traction. You get a little more respect. Your voice gets a little better. Your pitch gets better. Everything gets better. Your cadence and every way, anything that you can imagine in your interview, you're able to steer conversations better. And you start getting compliments by really big people in the industry, right? And that's a really cool thing because that validates what you're doing. It validates the work and the practice that you're going through. So my big thing is, guys, if you are feeling right now that no one is listening to your show, that no one is listening to you, no one is giving you the time of day, you have to understand something. That should not stop you from what you're doing. It should drive you and create more discipline so you can continue on the path. See, these are just moments of resistance, y'all. And these moments of resistance are just like anything else in life. They're just there to give you feedback. It's going to let you know. It's a measuring stick of where you're at or where people perceive that you're at. It doesn't mean that we should get down on ourselves, and guilty as charged. I've been really down on myself the last couple of days, and not a lot of people are going to get on the air and tell you all this shit. Okay. Like for those of you that are true fans that are listening to this right now, or fans, freaking listeners of the show, you're getting something out of this. If you're coming in and listening to me for the first time, this is me giving it to you real and raw. Okay. Because no one is going to be there for you like you can be there for you. So you have to understand that it's just feedback, and do not take it personal. I know you're going to, I know I'm going to, but we need the people in our lives, like your spouses, like your best friends, or a mentor to say, hey, listen, don't take that personal. Do not take that personal. What you're doing is great. You stay the course. One day people are going to be knocking on your door, because someone that is listening right now, yes, you that is listening right now, you are going to be the next big thing in whatever that you're doing. And when that day hits, people are going to come to you and they're going to want something from you. And mostly those people weren't there at the beginning when you were struggling and you were in the ditch and you were like almost in tears every single day from the pain of rejection, the pain of feeling like you're unheard, just the pain of it all. They weren't there. They decided to fucking skip that part of your journey, right? Now you have two choices. You can dismiss them because of that, or you can choose to forgive and still collaborate with them. The choice is yours. A lot of times I feel like I'm too forgiving and I just let people back in. But the reality is like how they treated me before is none of my business. It's simply a perception of how they truly feel about themselves. And I'll call anybody out on that. Like if someone is sitting there and bagging on you and not giving you the time of day, they truly don't feel good about themselves. I'm going to tell you right now, a real respectful individual will respond with absolute and the utmost respect. All right. So again, that's the podcast journey in a nutshell, right? We're still going, we're still growing. We're trying to put the best guests on and have the best conversation so we can bring the best value to you, the audience. That work never stops, and it's exhausting, right? It's exhausting. And I'm not saying this to throw a pity party. I'm saying this because I need you guys to know how much work goes into this. Not so you respect me, just so you give yourself a fucking break. It's painful at times, right? And you're going to switch. You're going to sit there and you're going to go, well, you know what? I should be working on entrepreneurs. I should be working with, in my sense, or my thing, it was athletes. It was always athletes. And I told myself the story that no, the money's not there. Like I can't really make an impact with athletes. So I switched to entrepreneurs. What the fuck do I know about entrepreneurship? Let's be honest, guys. I'm a coach. I'm a baseball coach. I'm a sales professional. I'm a father. I'm a husband. My expertise is in athlete development. What am I most qualified to help people? I'm most qualified to help the person I once was, a Division I athlete or an athlete in general. I can relate to the pressures that these athletes and high performers are feeling, whether they're in middle school, high school, Division I, and professional. Shoot, baseball players sometimes have the fear of God struck into them every single day, and they're looking over their shoulder because they know if they don't perform, they're going to be sitting the bench. They know that every single movement they make is being judged. So what we need to do, or what I need to do, is start teaching them that the real goal, the real reward is in the actual process, the standard, the work that they're doing every day. If they can find joy and love in that and inside intrinsically feel like that's enough, then they're going to be successful. The results will come. It will come between the lines. It'll happen on the courts and on the soccer fields and on the gridiron. Guys, athletes that are listening, and any performer, I don't care if you're in sales or whatever it is that you're in. If you sit there and you focus on the actual process of what you have to do daily to get better, to move your game to the next level, you are not going to lose. I'm going to promise you are not going to lose. It's like that old adage by Coach John Wooden. They never looked at the scoreboard. Never. Until the end of the game. Until that buzzer went off. They looked at the scoreboard and typically they were the ones that were winning. Lopsidedly. Do you know why? Because they were focused on the little things. They were focused on the things that they needed to do in practice and execute them in the games. So a lot of times people can hate Coach Saban, University of Alabama, right? Now I'm an LSU guy, so I'm a little still bitter at him for leaving LSU. But the bottom line is that coach is talented. He's one of the best coaches ever because he's focused on the process. Every little thing matters in his program, whether you're the janitor, the field crew, all the way up to the dudes in the press box. Making that block is as important to them, to him, and to everybody in that program. That's why Alabama football is the way Alabama is, right? And again, yes, they want to win. Of course they want to win. Everybody wants to win. I'm not sitting here telling you guys not to focus on winning or wanting to win. What I'm telling you is focusing on the things that are going to help you be successful in your skill level. That's what's going to translate to wins. That's what's going to translate to performance, not worrying about it, right? So you can take that parallel and you can bring that into your life, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a teacher, a firefighter, whatever it is that you are. You have to know that the joy is in the work. So recently, I sat there and I thought, well, you know what? I'm not getting where I need to be in the actual business of my coaching programs. Why is that? Why am I not growing? Why are my accounts, why are my listens in my podcast not going anywhere? Right? Why are they not growing? I thought to myself, because I'm not in alignment. I'm not congruent with who I am right now. The moment I switched to working with athletes, to putting athlete content out there, not only is my Instagram page growing, my downloads are growing, the interactions are growing, my business is growing. I run a group every Sunday night for athletes. I have 15 athletes in there right now and a community that pay to be a part of it. So we can talk about performance anxiety, how to perform under pressure, how to get rid or manage the fear of the unknown and the doubt that they feel every single day in their sport. So if you're listening right now and you're an athlete, you need to be in this program. You really need to be in this program, bar none, straight up, period, end of story. I'm not gonna, put it to you any way other than super direct. We got about 15 athletes in there right now. We have a middle school football player. We have a 48-year-old trainer. We have a guy in his mid-30s that's training to be a WWE wrestler. We have 2 volleyball players and adding a third from the University of Notre Dame. We have an ace arm, a D1 arm, Florida Gulf Coast University, who just transferred from UF. Like, we have multiple baseball athletes and multiple athletes that are very successful. I have only 3 athletes out of all of them that are not playing collegiate sports. What is that telling you? That there's a need. There's a need for athletes to go somewhere to talk about things. Now, here's what I'll tell you. It's an awful lot of pressure for me and for my team. And it can take a lot out of me, right? So my goal is to do a great job all the time. And for those of you that have been listening all these years, how much I care about every single person I come in contact with, no matter who it is. I try to have the most authentic conversations with people. And that's why I feel like my show is set apart from everybody else's, and I'm not speaking arrogantly. I'm just speaking from experience. No cookie cutter. I'm not asking stupid questions. We're having real conversations that can help people. And if people don't understand it, they're not gravitated towards it. Well, I'm sorry. Sometimes you can't fix stupid, right? So, as a joke, but, I just want you guys to know that none of this is done in vain. None of this is done without a little bit of pain, right? And sometimes the emotional pain can be so hard from growing this amazing show, from growing this amazing coaching program for athletes and high performers, that physically my body can hurt. Okay. So if you're one of those people that can relate to that, then this show's for you, because that's all I talk about. The amount of emotional pain sometimes that goes in when you're building something is astronomical, and nobody really understands it, right? They just expect you to be okay all the time. When you're giving back so much to everybody else and you're filling everybody else's cup up constantly because you want them to have a better life, man, don't forget about yourself. Because over the last month or 2, I forgot about myself. Yes, I've been doing my workouts. Yes, I've been doing the things I need to do. But in the back of my mind, and mostly in the forefront of my mind, I'm always thinking about other people. Now, it may not look like that to the outside, but for me, all I'm worried about is, how can I make the Sunday call the most impactful for my athletes? How can I make programs that are really going to help people and help athletes? Like, listen, guys, there's too many programs out there, and y'all, and listen, if this is you, this was me too. Too many of y'all are paying into programs for coaches that aren't really helping you. They aren't helping you at all. They're not. They're just collecting your money. They're telling you it's some astronomical amount of $2,000 to $3,000 a month, and they're laughing their way to the freaking bank because it looks like they're popular on Instagram. Let me tell you a little something about this industry, guys. Okay. It is very simple. Do you know why you don't see me in rooms with everybody and taking pictures with all these people that are super, super social media famous? I'm going to give you the answer right now, because I'm not fucking going to pay for it. Okay. And if that means I never hit where I feel I should be in this game or this industry, so be it. But I'm going to get there on my own merit, guys. I'm going to get there by my own integrity, my own work, right? I've built this show and I've built this stuff with my own 2 hands. Now I have help now. Okay. I have help. My boy, Brad and Misty, up in Pennsylvania, married couple. I'm not saying their last names on here because I don't need y'all stalking them out. They're mine. Don't take them. Before them, I was doing everything on my own, like all the pressure, everything, building everything out. They've been a godsend for me, and they're truly in it for me because they believe in me and they believe in the message and the vision that I have for these athletes. And we've gone all in on each other, and we're building. So when you guys see me in rooms in the future or in pictures, it's because I earned it. not because I paid for it. Okay. It's the same thing with downloads and the same thing with views, or not, downloads and reviews on Apple. Guys, all my stuff is 100% authentic. I don't have anything fake about me. All right. I could get 200,000 followers tomorrow on Instagram if I wanted them. I could get 1,000 reviews on iTunes or Apple, whatever the hell it is, Spotify, it doesn't matter. So I look more marketable to have these big names on my show. But I'm not going to do it. You know why? I'm not going to do it because I have you in mind. I have you in mind, the people that are listening to my show, the people that are coming to my platform every single day for inspiration. I want you to know that I'm real. I'm not fake. And a lot of times that takes a lot longer to grow. And a lot of times that means a lot of people are hitting you up because they want you to pay them a ton of money so you can ascend into this cool fucking whatever they call it. All right. And I'm not going to do it, guys. I'm not going to do it. Right. I'm going to build this thing on the back end with my 2 people, and I'm sure we'll be adding more, okay, to this team. But I'm going to do it with people that know that the value is in the hard work. It's in the trenches. And we're not going to sell out, because if we sell out, that means we're selling you out. And I want you guys to really take hold of what this show, this specific episode really means. Is it a little bit of a, just kind of a rant and no guest? Yeah, it's exactly what that is. It's exactly what it is, because I want you to know that I'm no different than you. I want you to know that anything you want to do is truly up to you. It is up to you to figure out how you're going to do it. Who's going to come along with you, right? How are you going to position yourself? There's going to be a lot of people telling you the way to do things, guys. There's going to be a lot of people trying to say, I can help you. It's just going to cost you 50 grand. I'm not that guy. And I don't want you to be that guy or gal. I want you guys to get by doing the work, right? And if somewhere down along the lines that you need to pay to be in a program or a mentor, absolutely. I'm not saying don't do that. But I'm not saying to spend tens of thousands of dollars to get in the room with somebody. You can call me short-sighted. You can say that I have a scarcity mentality of money. I call that fucking common sense. You know what I mean, guys? Like, this is the real world here. This is the real world. Okay. And I live in it. I still have a 9-to-5. I have a beautiful wife and 3 beautiful children. They're my main priority. I pay for everything around this house with my 9-to-5 and my wife's 9-to-5. She's an amazing teacher, by the way. Spanish too. Godsend for those children. Nothing's fake. Nothing is fake, guys. We're doing this the right way. And the reason why I keep coming back and saying this is because I really want you to understand it. I want you to understand that it's painful. I know a lot of individuals that are working their asses off to do things the right way. Then there's some that are just buying people off. Like, you can do that. You can most definitely buy people off. That's fine. You can pay people $5,000 a month for relationship capital. You can do whatever it is that you want to fucking do. Or $10,000 for relationship capital. I don't know. I don't know how much it is, right? You can do all that. What's that saying about you? Really think about it. What's it saying about you? It's saying you believe in shortcuts. Now, I believe in strategy. I really do. I believe in having strategic partners and having the right people on your side. But I don't believe you should have to pay tens of thousands of dollars a month to do that. That's garbage. Like, that's just, where have we gone in this world to think that that's okay? I believe in paying people for services that are really going to get you somewhere, but not for like Fantasyland bullshit. So I think I'm getting in the weeds here, guys, but I just want you truly to understand that a lot of people will contact me and tell me how great my show is. And when they tell me that, I question it, because for me, I know I'm nowhere near where I need to be. I know that I'm not in the permanent studio that I need to be in, but I do know that I just started. Okay. And what I mean by just started, it's been a couple years, but I made a decision one day to just start. And that's what I'm going to ask of you today. I'm going to ask of you to just start. Just start something. That one thing that you've been thinking about. I don't care if it's a podcast. I don't care if it's an Instagram page. I don't care if it's a clothing brand. Whatever it is, I want you to start it. Okay? Because the biggest regret you're ever going to have is that one day when you said, man, I wish I would have done that. Right? I wish I would have followed through with my thoughts. We get one chance on this rock. One chance. And your job is to honor that chance that life every single day, no matter what it is. Right? And for me, I've chosen a life of service. I coach kids in baseball. I do this show. I work with athletes. I take so much from myself to fill others up. And it's okay. That was my choice. That is my purpose. This is for me. And again, I don't want you guys to think that this is just me complaining. I'm not complaining. I accept it. I love what I do. But I don't want you guys being lied to anymore. And I don't want you guys to feel like you should hide the fact that you're feeling down or depressed or anxious. There's going to be a lot of people out there that say, well, go fucking work out, bro, or homegirl, go work out. That's why you're depressed. Listen, guys, that is bullshit. Okay, that's just the bro mentality. It is a marketing thing on Instagram and social media. Everybody wants to be a fitness influencer. Everybody wants to be that person that says, hey, just go work out. Your whole life will be better because you're lifting weights. That's bullshit. Okay, it is a strategy. It is a strategy to help you cope and feel better and be healthier. It's about being healthy. Okay. And if you don't go work out today, if you sit home and you lay in bed because you're feeling depressed, you're not a loser. Okay. You're not lazy. You're not uncommitted either. Sometimes you just need to chill. And if people don't understand that, then let them go down the river. Let them go down the river because you truly deserve sometimes to have a day. Sometimes I feel that people put content out there, like whether it's Instagram or podcasts as clickbait, just as something that, I know this is going to work. It's just like when COVID happened and all those people got really famous off of COVID, they're still fucking talking about it because they have nothing else. They have nothing else. Like, guys, you are more dynamic than that. You have a brain. I want you guys to use it. I want you guys to understand that you have real substance and real intellect. You don't have to use something that's just going to make you go viral. Be you. Okay? And if you're a physician and you want to talk about all that shit, go ahead. Hell yeah. Because half these people that are talking about this stuff aren't doctors. They're reading shit on Instagram and Facebook and they have no basis to back it up. All right? So, guys, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can be real. You don't need to just bring things up just to get a rise out of people. Okay. I don't know where I was going with that. I got a little fired up. I'm sorry, but it's just the way it is. Be you. Do not fall victim or choose to believe the narrative of what these people are saying. That you have to wake up at 2 a.m. every single day to go work out or you're a loser. That you have to track your macros. Yes. Does it help you? Absolutely it does. Do you need protein? Yes. I guarantee you. Here's what I'll tell you. If you just eat a lot of protein every single day, make a big portion of your meal protein and some veggies and some good carbs like potatoes and jasmine rice, you're going to be lean. You're going to lean up. I'm sorry. Just the way it is. People get pissed at me for saying that. Like, you got to track your macros. No, just fucking eat good. Right? Did I cover it all? Did I cover it all today, guys? I don't think I did. But, if you're still listening, again, the goal of this is just to get you guys to move out of this mindset that you can't feel down, that this is easy. Everybody else is doing it. Everybody else is in the room. Everybody else is getting all this social clout. They just have bigger bank accounts than you guys. I don't know what it is to tell you. And if those people are listening right now and it pisses them off, it's because it's the fucking truth. Okay. And I might get heat off this podcast and I don't care. They can come with it. They can come after me. They can tell me I'm nothing. I'm nobody. Go ahead, guys. All you're going to do is crank up my algorithm and make Instagram and Apple Podcasts think that I'm more important than I am. So come on, let's go. Let's talk about some strategy. Okay. It's very simple. Block the noise out. What I mean by block the noise out is all these things that you're thinking about, all these things that I'm worried about, let's just get rid of them and get on paper what we need to do every day. For me, what I needed to do today is I had to do some reporting. Okay. I needed to record a show. Check. All right. So if I can do everything I said I'm going to do on every single day, okay, then I get better. That's all I want you guys to focus on. Just get better every single day. Like, I know it's not life-changing advice, all right? But if I were to sit here and tell you some elaborate plan, you'd probably think I'm full of shit too, right? Because there's no real like magic bullet, guys. It is you sitting down, getting real with yourself, writing down how you feel, where you want to go in certain areas of your life, and then creating a plan and breaking it down into small chunks and executing that plan every single day. That is all it is. All the other stuff, guys, I just feel is useless. And all it's going to do is depress you, right? I'm going to tell you something, and I want to end it with this. Before I started working with athletes, I had no recurring revenue into my business. Straight up. I told you guys I was going to be real. No recurring revenue. And we all know if you don't have recurring revenue, you're in trouble, right? Here's where we're at now. 3 weeks after me starting this program, 4 weeks, I haven't even marketed it yet. 15 athletes in the community. We're adding one more this weekend. I know we are. I have one one-on-one client that is an SEC baseball player. So for those of you listening that don't know what SEC is, that is Southeastern Conference. It is the best baseball conference in the United States of America. And I'm working with a baseball athlete that has a chance to get drafted in the first 5 rounds in July. If that's not alignment, and if that's not a testament to what living your truth is, I don't know what will be, guys. Live your truth. Be who you are. If you're looking at something that you want to do in this world, you have to rewind a little bit. You have to look back and say, who did I used to be? Who did I used to be? If you were somebody that drank a lot or did drugs and now you don't, that's who you go help. That's what you have experience in. That's what you're an expert in. You're an expert at lifting yourself up out of the gutter, away from alcohol and drugs, and being more productive and healthy in your life. Don't try to help entrepreneurs. Help people with the same problem you had. For me, I was a struggling athlete. Once I got to Louisiana State University, I struggled with mindset, victim mentality, injuries, lack of confidence, blah, blah, blah. All the things. So what did I decide to do? Go help the previous Shawn French, because that's what I'm qualified to do. So go help the person you used to be. Focus on that, and everything else will take care of itself. I promise you, people will start showing up in your life that are there for that journey, that are in alignment with who you are. It is a crazy way things work out. The moment you start speaking your truth, people fall into your lap. People fall into your lap that support that dream that you can work with, like my Brad and my Misty, right? Those are great friends. They fell into my lap, right? And all the clients, everything will fall into your realm if you just start speaking from your heart, from who you are. Live within yourself. Do what you said you're going to do. And for all that is mighty, help the person you used to be. That is all I have for today, guys. I hope it makes sense. If it's not, I'm sorry. I hope you come back next week and still listen. All right. I just want you to know that everything's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I'm going to come. We're all going to fall into small little spirals, and we're going to come right out of them. Okay. But we got to come out of them by finding perspective and what matters most. That's typically the people that are under your roof, your family, your children. your spouse, whatever it is for your life, your mom, your dad, your brother, best friend. It doesn't matter, right? That's what matters most. From that point on, we just make little moves, right? Make a small move today. All right, guys, make a small move to helping the person you once were, no matter what that is. Do not worry about the income. Do not worry about if you can monetize it. That is the one thing that I fucked up in early on, is how can I monetize this quickly? You don't need that. You need to be asking yourself, how can I make a massive amount of impact? Impact over income. The income will come down later. Okay. It'll come later. All right, guys. So that being said, I love y'all. Thank you so much for listening. If you are a follower of the show, you've already subscribed, please do me a favor. Go to Apple or Spotify and leave a written review. I love to hear them. It helps us grow the show and it pushes it out to more people. The more reviews that we have and the more people love our show, it helps our listening score. So if you could do that for me, I'd appreciate it, and share this episode with someone you love. And with that being said, guys, I will see you soon.
Southwest Florida is one of the most beautiful places on the planet to live. For those of you that are thinking of moving from other states to come to Florida, or even just moving to a different part of the state, I want you to think of a big, beautiful luxury home. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. They are a family-owned and operated luxury residential construction company. As a family-owned business, they believe in the power of building not just homes, but legacies. Contact Legacy Luxury Builders. Unlock your true potential on the field and court with our Peak Mental Performance Program for athletes. Train your mind to conquer challenges, stay focused under pressure, and achieve unparalleled success. Our expert coaches will guide you through personalized techniques, enhancing concentration, resilience, and confidence. Picture yourself outperforming your rivals, making split-second decisions with clarity, and achieving victory like never before. Join us today and elevate your game to new heights. Peak Mental Performance Program, where champions are forged in the mind. Email me today, Shawn.French@thedeterminedsociety.com for more information. See you inside.